Greetings, every pony. This is the Nova Narrator coming to you with another story. Casper's Blades of Anarchy Part 2. Now, this one is action-packed, so I'm just going to get straight into it. That way I have more time to explain the details. Yee! As Cadence started walking up the mountain, five of the main six that were left decided to turn back around because only alicorns and meters of royalty and actual soldiers were allowed up there. So she proceeded by herself up the hill, or the mountain, give or take. Either way, it's still a giant lump on the ground. As she got to the top, she started seeing blasts from the background going back and forth as me and my best friend Scorpion were sparring together. It was pretty funny because every single time we spar against each other, it gets pretty explosive. And it was beginning to make the ground shake uncontrollably, which was pretty funny. Because the whole mountain just felt like one big earthquake that shook the earth beginning, and Cadence didn't know what to think of it. She decided to knock on the door. My sister, Midnight Flaris, decided to answer it. And she greets her like, Hello, Princess Cadence. What's wrong? As Cadence proceeds to tell her that the other three princesses have been taken by some kind of group of raiders that live in the Badlands, and she don't know what they're going to do to them. But rumors state that they'd like to take ponies and scalp them. They don't know what they're doing with the skins, though. As Midnight starts to give a disgusted look, thinking of what the heck the raiders could be doing to the princesses. These were not ordinary raiders. They had special abilities that an actual pony should not have. Like they were not even an actual pony. Like there's some kind of cybernetic organism. But oh, now I get where this is going. See, as Midnight pushes the button what calls us back to base, I go back in and say, Why did you push the warning button, sis? And she points over to the door at Cadence. And I greet her like, Hey, Princess Cadence. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. How can I help you? And then she tells all the story again, and I'm like, okay, I'll send out a code red memo stating for a few soldiers to go check it out. As I get called on to the recon along with my sister, Scorpion, and Venom. But we did not really know the location of where they took them. The obvious place to look, Badlands, as we proceeded into the Badlands territory. got choked up for a second there. Whew. Okay. Walking through the Badlands, Cadence decided to stay at the base so she'd be safe. As one of the dang ponies who really worked at the base constantly, mainly she wasn't into that war stuff, so she mainly just... Her job was to mainly maintenance the weapons. Even though we're more hand-to-hand combat, hands and neck snapping and stuff like that. As we proceeded further into the Badlands forest, not even knowing whether we were going to get ambushed, Scorpion always stayed by Venom, and Venom tried to stay close as she can to him, even though it kind of made it awkward. At least that's what, my sister, yeah, you're going to finally get to meet my Midnight twin sister. Shit, this is the first time she's ever been in one of my stories. Mainly because she's been off doing her own thing on another world. She just decided to show up one day and help for the cause. So I let her. I told her she'll fight along beside me like she always does. But as we were conversating, we started to hear ruffling in the bushes, as the tree crackles roaring straight at us from two different directions. I do a kick flip and kick both the missiles up away from us, which causes them to hit each other of the ones that fired them, as we hear them get blown to bits by their own shots. Midnight just laughs at the fact these ponies are such ignorant. So ignorant, damn. And Scorpion just looks at me and gives me a praise. See, good, thanking me for a job well done on seeing the threat. I guess we'll just go with that. See, if we get further in, we realize where they're holding the princess as captive. Mainly because it's quite obvious. It's the most heaviest guarded fortress in the Badlands. So, if it ain't obvious, then frankly, someone must be blind. We try to sum up a plan. Scorpion was more able to do a frontal assault. But considering we don't know what these things are, we had another. Me and was going to lead the frontal assault while Midnight and Venom get the princesses out. And we all agreed to it. 'Cause me and Scorpion can distract the guards long enough to where the girls get out safe. As one of the guards sees us and charges us, I tell Venom and Midnight to run off to the back and enter in through the back wall. We'll distract the guards. Scorpion was a little concerned because they actually look like regular ponies. But they were too fast and powerful to be regular ponies, as I kicked one of their heads off, revealing wires and metal components covered by a bloody skin. And then I look back at him and say, well, at least we found out why they're skinning ponies now. Making realistic fighting pony robots. And he looks back at me and said, that's just sick. And then I go back on another thing I thought about saying to him, basically, quite a bit in situations like this. Tell me about it. We're dealing with some sick son of a bitch. As we proceeded to kick the shit out of every robot guard there. Even though they looked like actual ponies, they were just pony skins covering robot skeletons. Which really intrigued me on why someone would be this cruel. As one tries to jump me, I kick flip backwards, driving a hoof blade with my magic right into its throat and flicking it at its buddy, causing it to knock the other one's head off. Scorpion already tore through 5 of them before I even had time to look back. I don't know how he does it with just that one blade. Apparently, his fighting skills were advanced to the point to where frontal assaults were a bad idea on him. And frankly, whoever built these pony robots did not realize that. Because we were tearing through them like they were garbage. Let's just go with that. I was stuttering a little bit because I didn't really know what to say, but let's just go with garbage. Let's just see. What's next? Damn it, lost the place for a second. Give me a second. Oh, there it is. As though the commotion tends to attract the boss. Oh, shit. Which calls in reinforcements. Before we knew it, we were completely surrounded. And the girls were dealing with their own problems as Midnight basically threw 2 or 3 guards out the window, breaking them over 2 ponies that were sitting outside's heads. And remember, all the ponies here were robots other than us. And the princesses we're trying to save. I fly up with about 3 of them grasped in my magic, and I start using them as ammunition to take out their other friends. Chucking one at this one that was trying to run at Scorpion. But Scorpion got it before the other one got it. Before the other one hit him. which caused a dual explosion combo that looked pretty epic. As I decided to launch the other one right through the side of the building to make a gaping hole for Midnight and Venom to escape if they needed to. As it blew the side of the wall off with a loud bang as the whole front of the building went crashing down with a kind of like a flat piece of paper or a lean down tree. Yeah, it would look pretty funny. But just then, the boss decides to show his ugly mug. And he was a big, ugly motherfucker. Like, seriously. He was big, red, purple, and he basically looked like something out of some kind of horror movie based pony fic. Let's just go with he looked like some kind of pony creature straight from hell. He looked like he was made of fire and poison. As he goes charging at us, the whole ground dying beneath our feet as he walks towards us. Oh, and then we both gulp because we did not expect a pony of this caliber to be working with such robots that were like garbage. None of them even knew how to fight correctly. As he starts walking towards us, his horn and wings flare up with a red like demon fire, and then he sends a sonic shock wave straight towards us, knocking us both back and killing several of the robots at once. We both hit a tree in the outcropping. See, Scorpion just shakes it off and tries to go running straight at him. I yell at him, no! If we run straight at him, we make ourselves too predictable. But it was too late. He got thrown in the air. And then I caught him, basically, and I advised a plan. We both go running at him at the same time. But we gotta keep on the move to keep from being predictable. And he agrees. As we decided to pull a side-to-side tactic, kind of like the flea flicker in football. As we both went back and forth, crossing back and forth, confusing the big, ugly red alicorn, or demon-based creature, with our movements. He starts blasting in all directions, trying to hit us, sending out a shock wave, which I caught against my shield that went over me. As I blast back, retaliating, in a flaming corkscrew, I run up and hit him into oblivion. Him not even realizing how the hell I got that close to him. And then Scorpion, as he was down, runs up and strikes him right in the neck with his spear, or whatever the heck that spike thing is. I'm just going to call it a spear, because he spears ponies with it. Yeah, let's just go with that. As the pony decides to run off with his tail between his legs, thinking, oh shit, this is not the right time. He's like, you might have beat me this time, but you will not. This is not the last you'll see of me. I will be back for my revenge. Scorpion, being the confident warrior he is, he's like, bring it on, punk. I can take your ass down anytime, anywhere. The demon-based alicorn just looks back at him and growls and flies off. And I give him a bro hoof. As me and Scorpion proceed to walk in the building to see if Midnight and Venom fulfilled their task. And according to all the dead robots, they managed to get one part right and the other part right. They freed the princesses too. And they look at us and like, what happened to you guys? That's what they'd say. And like, we look back at them and say, demon-based alicorn. That thing was ugly from the neck up and the neck down. Ugh, Scorpion looks back and like, couldn't agree more, man. And he said we haven't seen... I look at Midnight and say, he said this will not be the last we see of him. Apparently, he's going to be planning something later on, so be prepared. She nods. Along with Venom, she nods and decides to give Scorpion a little kiss. See, for making it back okay, as women proclaim, because they're always worried. Yeah, let's just go with that. Or should I say his mare friend? Yeah, that'd be better. And that was Casper's Blades of Anarchy Part 2. Not anything like I expected, but it still works. This has been the Nova Narrator. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and make sure to turn on the post notifications, cause you realize that Demon Alicorn's going to come back. And it's going to create a lot more epicness, because he was at his weak strength, because that thing is supposed to be a lot uglier than he really is. That thing is supposed to be. Okay, this has been the Nova Narrator. Out.